What's going on, everybody? Ron Rises here, and I wanted to come on for just a few minutes here during lunch break to talk about the verse of the day. If you don't have the YouVersion Bible app already, you need to go ahead and download that. It's a free download, and it will literally change your life. It's the best Bible app, probably the best app out there ever, anywhere. And not only will you be able to read the Bible through the Bible app, not only will you not only will they deliver you a verse of the day every day without you even having to look it up, a verse for your life every single day that will encourage you, inspire you, motivate you, challenge you, but you can also look up devotional plans on there for any topic of life that you're interested in. There's a devotional plan for it. And what's really cool as well is that you can connect with friends and you guys can study the Bible together and study even devotional plans together through the app virtually. So that's pretty cool. They also have videos. They have a story every single day to motivate you. So cheap plug. I don't work for them. I'm not sponsored by them, but I believe in them. Download the YouVersion Bible app on your phone. DM me if you need help doing that, if you're not sure which one it is. But anyways, the verse of the day today states, and it's actually John 15:2, but I'm going to start with verse 1 just to provide that wholeness and that fullness to it. And these are actually the direct words of Jesus himself. He says in starting with John 15:1, I am the vine and my Father is the vine dresser. Every branch in me, I'm doing it by memory here. So every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away. And every branch in me that does bear fruit, he prunes that it may bear more fruit. Skipping down to verse 5, he reiterates and emphasizes one more time. He says, I am the true vine. Now he's not just saying the vine, but now he's doubling down and saying, I am the true vine. And then he says after that, he that abides in me and I in him, he it is that bears much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. Seems pretty straightforward, very inspirational, very motivational. And it's a straightforward message, but I want to just talk about it from just a couple different perspectives. First and foremost, we have to realize that what the verse is saying could be easily misunderstood for this reason. It says, I am the vine, my Father is the vine dresser. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away. Now, just reading it simply like that, it could be, we could think that what Jesus is implying is that if we stop bearing fruit, in other words, being productive in our faith, that God is going to do away with us. But that's not what the verse means at all, because you have to realize the context, also the cultural context. You have to realize the language that was written in the Greek and how that translates over to English. The Israelites were very familiar with vines and with agriculture, which is the reason why Jesus used these illustrations a lot, because it was stuff that was relevant to them, that they were very familiar with. As a matter of fact, I was reading in commentary that King Herod's temple was adorned with a golden vine and with, golden grapes and things of this nature, because the vine was something very representative for the Jews. And so takes away in that word in the Greek, takes away, which I'm not going to try to pronounce right now and sound foolish, but what I was reading about its meaning was that it's simply taking out the parts that aren't good. In other words, taking out the parts that aren't good so that the good parts can grow. If you know anything about agriculture or planting, which I don't know much about, but I know that when there's weeds or there's little parts of the plant that aren't, growing correctly, or that could be potentially, cancerous or whatever the case may be, you have to take those parts out so that the fruitful parts have more room to grow. And so he's not necessarily saying that I'm going to do away with you. He says, I'm going to discipline you so that those parts of your life that don't bring me glory, so that those parts of your life that are not good for you, that are not doing you well, that are not serving your purpose, and that are hindering you, can be done away with. And so, a lot of times we come to God and we come to Jesus and we expect that everything is going to be, awesome and amazing and roses and peaches and cream or whatever you want to call it, and that there are never going to be any challenges because guess what? Jesus is on our side. However, I want to challenge you to understand that that's a dangerous way to think, because if life is not bringing us challenges, if life is not bringing us trials and tribulations, then guess what? We're not growing. We're not growing. And growth and spiritual maturity and maturity in every aspect of our lives comes through the channel of life's trials and tribulations. And God allows these moments in our life to bring us discipline and to take those branches away from our life that are not producing fruit. Even the ones that do produce fruit, he prunes so that we can bear even more fruit. And so he's saying, any branch that is in me, hello, if we are in Christ, we are a new creation, we are saved, we are his. He's not rejecting us, but he does want to discipline us so that the parts that aren't bearing fruit, he takes away so that more fruit can be produced in our lives. And then I just want to say lastly this. He's very clear down in verse 5 when he says, I am the true vine. He that abides in me and I in him, he it is that bears much fruit. In other words, and then he says after that, apart from me, you can do nothing. And if we would just take this principle and understand that it is a very real truth that apart from Jesus, we can literally do nothing, I wonder if that would have an impact on our lives, and if we would resolve each and every single moment and day of our lives to abide in Jesus. Guess what? Even within the context of being already a follower of Jesus, of being active in the church, me even doing ministry, we can do things for God. We can do the right things, but not necessarily do them with him, because God is not looking for us to do anything for him. He wants to live life with us. He wants us to want to live life with him. And so it's different when we're doing stuff for someone, because it's a transaction. Then when we're doing life with them, because that's relational. And in order to be able to have fruit in our lives, to be successful in our lives, to produce and live towards the purpose that God has for us, we must abide in Jesus. We must have a deep, intimate relationship with him. And that comes through just having a heart, a disposition, an awareness of communing with him, talking with him, reading his word, not so that we can be saved, not so that we can accomplish something, but because we understand that he is the author of life, that Jesus is the true vine, and that only through him can we do anything at all or even have life. The Israelites in the Old Testament, God refers to the nation of Israel as the vine that he uprooted from Egypt and planted in the promised land. But then obviously the Israelites weren't able to represent God's kingdom appropriately, which was their purpose. And so Jesus then later comes in as the true vine. My encouragement to you is to abide in Jesus, to abide in him, to get to know him, to make it your life's number one purpose to not live a moment without Jesus, and to know that with him, through him, you can do all things. Without him, you can do nothing. God bless you guys. This was the verse of the day. Have a great day. Peace.